Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now on one of my last videos, I made this sublimation tumbler for my daughter. Now I need to get a box of things out to her today. So I have it packed with several things, but I wanted to make one more thing to go with this cup. So today I'm just going to sublimate on this little car coaster. So you put this down in your cup holder in your car, and then you put your cup on top of it. That keeps some of the water from getting into your cup holder. So I just wanted to make something that went with this. So that's what we're getting ready to do. Now here's the main things that we're going to use on today's project. And we're not going to use this. This was just my inspiration. But I am going to use this sublimation blank. Like I said in the intro, this is a car coaster that you put down in your cup holder. Now sometimes things like this have a coating on the top that you have to peel off. I cannot feel one on this, so I don't think I have one. Then I'm going to print on this hippo sublimation paper today. Now this is some that I just received recently. It's 120 grams in thickness, and then the back side of this hippo paper is white. Now if you happen to remember seeing an old video of mine where I wasn't too thrilled with this old hippo paper, I really do like the new one. The back of the two look different. They're different weights. And so I don't know if they've changed vendors, if they've changed, I don't know exactly what's changed, but I do like this paper. I'll use my ruler just to measure this and some scissors. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clean this off. That way it has time to dry while I'm printing my image. And then after I print my image out, I'm going to go ahead and use this little mini craft heat press to sublimate onto the car coaster. I'm going to get onto the computer, show you my design, and what I really want to do is show you how I make sure that it's placed just right on this. So the first thing I need to do is see how large this is. So this car coaster at its widest is just a little bit over 2.5 inches wide. I'm going to go with 2.65 as the perimeter of my circle. Now I'm going to print from Inkscape, and you can print from whatever software you like. But the first thing I want to do is I want to make a circle. So I click right over here on circle, and then I'm making a circle. Now I want my circle to be light gray. I want to be able to see it, but I don't want it to be super dark. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. Now to see the size of the circle, I have to go right up here to the select tool. Now I can see it. Now remember I wanted 2.65, so let's unlock it since the dimensions aren't perfect right now. And I'll say 2.65 by 2.65. So now with it selected, I'm going to go right down here to fill and stroke, and it pops up here. So right now the fill of my circle is a light gray. I want to have a black line around it, just a thin black line. So I'm going to go to stroke paint, click on solid, and now you can see it's there. It's very small, and that's exactly what I want, but it's there. Now notice that it made my image just a tiny bit bigger, but that's okay. All right, so let's go to fill, and now I'm going to say I don't want any fill whatsoever. Now I want to find my design over here and just drag it in. Now this design was a JPEG, so right now I'm just going to say okay. I just go with the default settings. Then I want to pick one of these cats. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move that to the back. So with it selected, now you can't see it. It's right above my cursor here, but I'm clicking on the word object, and then I'm going to say lower. So it goes under my circle. All right, let's go ahead and blow this up by hitting Shift and the plus sign. Now I have to figure out which one of these cats I want to use. And for me, that's going to be the hardest thing to decide. I kind of like this one right here, but I kind of like this one here. So in this case, I'm going to move my paper so that that cat is right there in that circle. Now notice the cat's too big. So I'm going to have to find the end of this, and I want to lock the proportion, make it smaller. Okay, I think that looks fine. Let's go ahead and bring this back down. Now, let me make a copy of that circle. So I'm going to hit Command-C for copy, Command-V for paste, and I'm just going to bring that over here. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle both the paper and my little circle, and I'm going to go up here. It says Object, Clip, and Set. All right, so that's the only thing that's going to print. Let's move that more to the center. Actually, I'm going to print more things below it. So I'll move it up here, save as much paper as I can, and then I'll put my circle back over it. So at this point, I'm going to put some more designs on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and print this. Now, because this is sublimation, I'll take both of my images, I'll go to Object, and I'll say Flip Horizontal. In this case, it really wouldn't matter since there's not a true left side of the cat and right side of the cat, but I like the way it was facing, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it horizontally. Now, I'll add the rest of my images, I'll print this out, and then I'll meet you right back over at the table. Now, while my heat press is heating up, I can go ahead and get this ready. Here's my little print. Now, it looks dull now. It's going to perk up, and I want to put this so that this little divot is either at the top or the bottom. I think I'll put it on the top. So the cat is straight up and down. This is straight up and down. I'm going to place it right inside that circle. So this circle helps you make sure that what you're putting in there looks exactly the way it looked on your computer. Makes it so it's centered. And then I'm going to go ahead and put just enough tape on here so that nothing shifts while it's getting heated. Now, sometimes when you lower the platen of your heat press, whatever's in there can just, I wouldn't say slide, but you're causing movement in there. So I do want to use some tape to keep it in place. Now I'll go ahead and flip it over. Now notice the back of this paper says Hippo. So this newer version of their paper that I really like, the back is white or kind of a light gray. It says Hippo. The old version, the back was a very, very light pink. I will put a link to this one in the video description in case you're interested in trying it out. All right, so let's pull this little heat press over. This is a tiny little craft press. I think it's 9 by 12, something like that. Yeah, it's a 9 by 12, and it comes in really handy to just be able to sit here and work on small things. And then I always, even if I'm using paper that says it doesn't bleed through the back, and I haven't even read on this yet, I'm not sure, but even if I'm using that type of paper, I always put something over it to protect my heat press. All right, so this is getting up to temperature, and I have it set for 390 for 45 seconds. Now the other thing is, this little black ink here, it could bleed down because it's not going onto anything. So I need to put something under it. I'm just going to put this paper towel. I had it handy here, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, put this down. I want it fairly centered because your pressure to me is more even. It doesn't get off balance if what you're pressing is in the middle. I'll cover it up. And again, I'm going to press this for 45 seconds. All right, let's go ahead and see if 45 seconds was enough. Now, the way I can do that is just peel back the paper in one corner, and it's hot. Ooh, okay. That looks great. I know you can't see it yet. You'll see it in just a minute. I'm going to let it cool down just so I can handle it a little bit easier. All right, I didn't wait very long, maybe 30 seconds. But I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. And there is the cute little cat. Look how sweet that is. So that and this together, I think that's going to be adorable. I know it's just a tiny little something, but it'll go to show I really thought of her. I know she loves cats, and putting thought into what you're doing, that's worth more than money. So thanks so much for joining me today, and until my next video, bye-bye.